Nitran Revolution. Or sorry, no, that's a pretty stupid name. I've never made up a name for it. The Mainland Revolution, and we'll be talking about that next cut. And we are back. So we'll be talking about the Mainland Revolution. So after all of this was created and stuff, some people didn't like these laws. They liked their little freedom. Mainland wasn't mainland. It was all one big thing called Anitra. Anitra was a massive, practically power source now. So Anitra was pretty big and everything. They were doing well and stuff, but many people did not like it. So a tiny little civil war started in Bridgetown, but it's nothing that actually went into because it was nothing that big. No civil war started in Creektown. Creektown was still being built. Politics and stuff were running through there. And Mainland, which was where the president's house was actually. It was moved from Creektown back to Mainland, and it was the the like main little like area Sandtown was politics and stuff, and the president's house was located there for a long time, and then I moved it now back to here. We still have a president, but he is my dog. That's the president, and he's been president for about 2 years now, or yeah, about 1 year and 6 months, 2 years. But yeah, so the president wanted his house in Sandtown, and his house was built. What in the world was that? It sounded like a bird fell or something. But yeah, so the president's house was built in Sandtown, and everything was doing well. But then Pinetown was the main revolution, or main little civil war that was focused on. I planned it out and everything. I created practically the civil war, like not me, but like me, real life, not me in the Nitro life, me in real life. I made like this little civil war and stuff for Pinetown, and it was actually pretty cool. So Pinetown had enough. They weren't like the best, but they were not the capital city. The capital city was Sandtown of the whole entire Anitra. But then the Pinetown wanted freedom, wanted its own little rights and stuff. So they decided to do a civil war. The civil war lasted for 6 months, and Pinetown constantly was bombarding. And Pinetown's like really close. If you like in my yard, it's like super close to the top of the little area. So so they had access to the outside world, and the Zinlins were still mad at us. So they were supplying Pinetown with supplies they need, and on the other side of the Great Gray River, aka the driveway, the Bridgetown's there, but Bridgetown couldn't do anything. They were being attacked by the Zinlins and other people that joined on Pinetown side. So it was in Anitra, but it was like a bunch of power houses or countries combined, and were attacking Anitra. But of course the president realized this is a big problem. He sent contacts to Bridgetown, which is where I am from in the Anitra universe. I am from Bridgetown, so he sent it to there. I formed our militia. So the militia back then were not called the Nightshades. Now I control the Nightshades, and that's what that militia was. So the early day Nightshades, but they were just called militia. So they were formed, and it was about it got slimmed down to about 100 of them. So I was training them super good and super strong, and they were ready. They moved into mainland, helping out mainland, bringing artillery to bombard Pineland, yeah, and then Pineland kept revolting and attacking back, eventually taking half of Bridgetown away, practically, and that was like a big problem for Anitra. So then the Creek region brought their special forces, which is also the Nightshades today, and then so the Nightshades also were helping out with the war. So it was about a good like 400 Nightshades, so special trained forces, helping out with about the couple thousand Anitrans themselves, because after the revolution there was a good chunk of Anitrans, and nowadays the population is a good like 5 billion, 6 billion, well, not billion, let's go with 400, 500 million. Okay, so yeah, they supported that, and the war lasted for 6 months, almost reached the 7-month mark, but Pineland was eventually out of resources, and the other places stopped funding Pineland due to the Anitran special forces and stuff were doing a big number on Pineland, and they didn't want to be found the other countries, so they stopped helping out Pineland, and Pineland was eventually ended. But how costly the war was, Anitra had to make the 3 unions, and they're called the National 3 Unions of Anitra now, and this union is called Vascania. They're 3 regions, but they're now unions, but there's like different regions. It's the Creek region, aka Vascania Union. Mainland region is the center of practically the whole entire yard, and that is, I still haven't made a name for that, so comment down below what that name should be. And then also the Hills region. It used to be the Mountain region, but I changed it to the Hills region since it wasn't that big of mountains. So yeah, it was pretty cool, pretty fun. I enjoyed that part a lot, and I especially enjoyed the revolution though of Anitra, but it was all super fun for that. But now it is time for the change and little presidents, and the change that made Anitra kind of have another civil war, but this time it was more in politics than in Anitra itself. So let's go for the politic war. We're back for the politic war now. So after the Pinetown Civil War was ended, the 3 unions were made, and all that happened. But after about 6 more real time months, or 6 years, actually no, it should be 6 weeks, would probably be 6 months. Yeah, 6 weeks and 6 months here. So after about 6 years in Anitra time, a new president came, and that was actually not my dog, but my middle brother actually joined Anitra for a while because he shockingly liked it, even though most of everything I do he's like, ugh. But so he joined in as the president, and we made, before all this happened, which really inspired me to make Anitra, for like a good chunk for about 5 to 6 real life years, we had this thing called Ninja Island, and it was with like little action figures, like Star Wars action figures, other action figures, and it was like, we actually made it like a really good chunk. We even made our own little like imaginary show. We never made it into a show, but it was kind of like an imaginary show. Like every time we went out, we were doing like Ninja Island, we played sports, Ninja Island, all that. It eventually ended though once my cousin left. Then like 2 years later, my oldest brother left Ninja Island, and then my middle brother took over Ninja Island, and he made it kind of lame, so I left Ninja Island. So good 5 to 6 years of a fun time ended. But I mean, we're still kind of bringing it back though. Like Ninja Island is kind of coming back slowly, but yeah. If you want a Ninja Island story, let me know. I could maybe even bring in a few of my brothers to do it, perhaps, but I don't think they want to. But yeah, if y'all want one, I will gladly tell that story as well. But anyway, so there's this little cartel in Ninja Island we made, and it was spice running. It was in Sly Cooper. There was spice in, I think, the second one. It was Sly Cooper's video game. If you haven't played it already, you should. It's really fun. But there's this thing called Spice, and then Ninja Island was never like original. Like we took it from, my brother got his ideas from Family Guy and stuff like that. We also got it from like parts of Star Wars and all that. But yeah, so it was practically just a bunch of shows combined into one little imaginary show. But it was still super fun. So we got Spice from Sly Cooper. It was this little like cartel thing, this drug cartel. But yeah, so my middle brother like brought that kind of to Anitra, and it was fun little thing. The politics went crazy. Anitra, many people sided with me to get him out of there. Others sided with him, but then he did something corrupt, and also 2 of the like little spice power plants or spice plants blew up and caused massive fires in mainland. And so many Anitrans sided with me, and although he sparked a little revolution within Anitra, but it was in it quite quickly, and yeah, it was then he was banished from Anitra for good, and anyone who followed him was also kicked out. Yet people still follow him today, and Anitra can't do really anything about it because they keep their names hidden and stuff like that. But yeah, so he still has an impact on Anitra. But yeah, it was a pretty cool thing of history. Also, I enjoyed Ninja Island a lot, and what we were doing, it was really fun, and I would gladly share the story with y'all. But the story of Anitra was super inspired by Ninja Island, yet it wasn't from any TV shows. It was actually something I made up with a little hint of Ninja Island in it. That was a fun part also, the little politic war, and yeah, it was a good chunk. I told like mainly the big parts of it, but there's a lot of other parts. Yeah, so it was pretty fun. Then also, next part will be the kind of the ending of this all. It's a pretty long video I'm gonna be making, but yeah, so it was like it was a lot of politic war and stuff, and eventually he was ended, but there was a great cost of about 2,000 Anitrans died, and a few hundred buildings of Anitra was demolished after the fires, and pollution corrupted the area, so it was a tough time for Anitra there. But then the change in president is pretty modern actually, and one of my I like this part a lot, but I really like the politic war and the revolution mainly. Those two were one of my favorite parts of Anitra history. But time for the president. Okay, we need to get better names. Give me one moment. The president swap, I guess. So time for the president swap.